Welcome to Dubai Raceway in KwaZulu-Natal for round one of the Rotax Max Challenge National Karting Championship. In the Micromax class, Devan Naidu was the man to beat. He was on pole position ahead of Troy Snyman, Carl Bjorkus, and then Travis Mingay. A super effort from Mika Abrahams to beat out Hinray Puran, and then Casey Ensor Smith beating out Ken Swartz. It's Ryan Asmal and Bjorn Bertholdt, the top 10, as we head into race number one. The future of karting is in the house right now with Micromax. And as they head across the line down into turn number one, who's going to have the whole shot? It looks like it might be Troy Snyman who's hit the front for the first time as they go down into Kangaroo for, yes, he has. He's just been able to squeeze out, and Naidu having to come through for second place. They get onto that back straight away. Great to see all of them fighting hard. There are 17 karts in the house here, and Micromax are going to put on a show of note. There's no holds barred here, that's for sure, and definitely no fear. They won't worry about if it's wet or dry. They go at it as hard whether it's wet or dry. And you can see now as they start to sort things out in that mid-pack, keep an eye out on Joshua De Paiva. Didn't quite get to mention him in the qualifying sheets because he was so far back, but he's already made his way up and moving up into the top 5 or 6 or so as they come through to complete lap number one. A great drive there from De Paiva at the initial part of this race. A little bit of chopping and changing in that mid-package. You can see them sorting things out there. Troy Snyman hanging on for now, but looks like he might be losing out there. Josh De Paiva making his way through. Muhammad Wali also at the front end in the 699. Let's start from him. He was kind of in the mid-pack at the word go, but now having to look to get away from the rest of this field. As they come up onto the braking markers, it is exceptionally close racing at this stage, but still Devan Naidu hanging on to the lead. Naidu ahead of Muhammad Wali. On the braking markers, is that a change-up? Yes, Wali has got through. So Muhammad Wali gets through into first place as they head to the top of the hill. These guys will battle a little bit with the drive. They've got to try and maintain the corner speed through the funnel sweep to ensure that they get the drive up the hill, and that's exactly what De Paiva has done. He now moves up to possibly 4th place. So a super effort there from De Paiva. Josh De Paiva is certainly showing he's got what it takes here and definitely loving life down in KwaZulu-Natal. Keep an eye on the background there as Reza Levy starts to make his way through as well. The Razor starting to cut through this field rapidly, looking for chances if there are any. It's not easy to find chances out there. These karts are very evenly matched and the driver's skills almost identical as well. It's literally just a game of cat and mouse. Look at De Paiva though. He is just eating this field up. And they're looking to get up into possibly 3rd place under braking. Can't quite make it stick there, but watch the cutback. Up the hill, he might be able to get through on the inside line. He's going to look for that inside line, but the door's shut. He knows what's happening there, and Troy Snyman saw him coming. He's going to make it easy for him, that's for sure. Muhammad Wali out front at the moment, just maintaining and looking for opportunities to stay ahead of Devan Naidu. So as they come across the line and complete another lap, this is very, very close racing at this stage. The 652 out front, that's Troy Snyman. Wali looking to close him down. Then you've got the attack. And look at that attack coming from De Paiva. De Paiva is getting into some of the quickest lap times we've seen all weekend for these karts. And in these little tricky conditions, it just shows you that some of these drivers just tend to revel when things turn ugly in terms of the weather. Let's change up for the lead. There's Wali hitting the front, getting through on Snyman. De Paiva has got through as well. Oh, De Paiva comes through possibly for second. He's got good drive and great corner speed, but he just wasn't able to get through. Yes, he was. He gets up to 2nd place. The man who lost out there big time was the 652. And no, in fact, it was Wali. Muhammad Wali losing out massive ground there. Troy Snyman hangs on for the lead right now. De Paiva closing in on him, looking for a chance to get through. And can he do it into turn one? He's not close enough. Very, very close racing there. Muhammad Wali just behind and looking for chances if there are any. These youngsters really showing that there is no fear whatsoever, and there's definitely no team orders out there. Coming up, and a new leader, De Paiva, going past and making it look so easy. Really, nothing in it whatsoever. Now that he's got to the front, can he maintain the gap? Yes, he can if he can pull corner speed like that. That's where he's making up massive advantage. He's just able to get through that bottom turn through funnel sweep and get away from the rest of those karters. So Muhammad Wali is now going to have to fight it up with Troy Snyman, as it looks like De Paiva has got the early go-ahead to get to the front. He's done that, and now look to take that checkered flag. It's brilliant driving here from De Paiva. His corner speed through final sweep has just been incredible, and he definitely has got a slight advantage over the rest of these guys. Massive pressure as they go through Thunderdome. Look at the gap There's the gap between first and second, third, fourth, and fifth. That's how close things are getting. Reza Levy starting to come into the play there too. So is Rain Asmal. Nice to see those two guys starting to close the gap there and become part of this almost five-way battle for second. Second place now changes into the hands once again of that 652 cart of Snyman. So Snyman leads as they go to the top. It's Muhammad Wali on his tail. There you can see just pushing through there is Reza Levy, looking for chances and bringing Asmal along. So those two very, very evenly matched. Rain Asmal very close. Having a dive on the inside, can't quite make it stick. Change up for second again. Oh, she's going to go right to the line. These 5 carts are going to go at it like this until that checkered flag comes out. Unfortunately, it's going to slow them down, and they're not going to have an answer whatsoever to the man at the front end. De Paiva now opening up, what's that, 5-second lead at this stage. He keeps going this way, going to be close to 10 seconds by the time the checkered flag comes out. As they come under braking, you can see Divin Naidu just hanging on for now. Naidu fighting with Muhammad Wali. And Wali going wide. Naidu on the outside. Troy Snyman there as well. Reza Levy now into the mix, looking for a chance to possibly spoil the day for these contenders at the front end. On the inside, looks like a little issue there for Casey Ensel-Smith. Parked on the sideline. Could be a problem there. Unfortunately, has dropped him completely out of this. But here we go. Oh, yeah, diving on the inside and forcing maneuver there. Can we see a maneuver stick? Oh, it is so, so close. 3x3, they're going into turn 1. This could end up in tears for somebody. Little touch, I wouldn't say that again, but that was definitely a big touch going into turn 1. And you can see just hanging on there. And I can tell you 652 Troy Snyman has got his hands full. And now moving into second place, Muhammad Wali starting to get away. Third place is still up for grabs. It's Bjorn Bertholdt who's fighting there as well. So Bertholdt and Reza Levy coming into this mix into the last part of this race. So really nothing in it. And now it's going to be a 6-way battle because they're going to be joined there as well by Carl Björkes. Björkes and Bjorn Bertholdt coming into the mix here in the closing stages. So what was originally 5 carts could potentially be 8 carts. And all of them, of course, fighting for second place on track. It's the kind of action we've seen in the Micromax. And it's what we're going to see all season long, I'm sure. We head to Veronican Kart Circuit, the Laserfish Raceway for the next round. And, of course, Micromax definitely coming to their own there because there's not as much elevation and undulation like there is here. These guys battle a little bit with the lesser powered engines that are available for this category, but certainly the action is just as good as what we saw in DD2 or in the Junior Max. Up over the top they go, almost side by side. A couple of carts there almost side by side, managing to just tuck in at the last minute and go through line astern. But it's not over. Bar none, there is still lots of action to come. Once again, second place has changed up. I'm not quite sure even who to throw money at you because they are so evenly matched. And as they get into the closing stages here of heat number 1, there is the leader across the line and into turn 1. And that is second place now coming across the line. So you can see just how difficult it's going to be for these guys to finish up this final lap. Muhammad Wali is looking for that second place. Can he keep out this pack of charging carts? Troy Snyman is right there with him. So is Bertholdt, so is Levy, so is Asmal. And any one of those 5 can take the victory here or even take second place. I don't know if they're going to get the victory because De Paiva is almost 9 seconds up the road. There he comes up the hill. The rest of the pack only turning down into funnel as he comes over pipeline and heads down to SMD. He heads into that final turn and it's pretty much plain sailing here for De Paiva. Coming through the pack rapidly, he got to the front and disappeared for Team RKT and the Cosmic Chassis. So a super run there, 8.5 seconds up ahead. And who's going to get second place? Let's wait for them to come across the line. It's going to be Muhammad Wali. Wali's going to hang on, and Snyman just beating Levy to the line. Reza Levy just coming through there and almost spoiling the day and getting up onto the podium. So confirmation there of De Paiva, Wali, Snyman and Levy ahead of Rain Asmal. Then it was Reese Kuzin, Divin Naidu, the poleman in 7th place, Carl Björkes in 8th, and Mika Abrams beats out Bjorn Bertholdt for the top 10.
Joshua, that looked very easy.
Yeah, but it was difficult to pass Mohammed because he was blocking me and I had to pass him in Thunderdome.
Talk to me about the race. How did it go from the beginning?
In the beginning, I thought I wasn't going to do it, but at the end I did it.
Talk to me about that race. How did it go?
Well, me
me and Bjorn were busy coming first and second, fighting for the position. But I think he got taken out by Joshua De Paiva or Muhammad Wali. But that's just racing.
Was the track nice and dry now?
It was very much drier, sadly. I qualified second in the rain, which is probably my fastest I've ever done.
Here we go again for Micromax heat number 2. De Paiva was the man to beat in heat 1, winning out by 8.5 seconds, and he is on pole position. That could be a dangerous omen for the rest of this pack. If he's able to open up the margin, he might be able to get away early on. Whoa! In the background, diving through before the flag came down. That might be under the scrutiny of the COC. We'll wait and see if that was possibly deemed as a jump start by one of the drivers in the back. I didn't quite get the number, but there was definitely a maneuver out of the tram line before that flag dropped, and it is Josh De Paiva who leads them out up to the top of the hill for the first time. You can see them all starting to sort things out there in the second, third and fourth places. Muhammad Wali not quite getting the start that he wanted. Troy Snyman also battling a little bit there, but starting to make his way through. Oh, spinner, 660, getting it out of shape. Not the way he wanted to go, because Rain Asmal had a fantastic start and was in second place. Here comes Snyman. Snyman under attack there. Looks like Reza Levy diving on the inside as well, starting to make his way up to the front end as he comes through Pipeline and now down the hill. Ahead of him, 3 carts going side by side, nearly diving through into SMD, and you can't go through SMD 3x3, that's for sure. It's going to end up in tears. Snyman in second place, looking for a way through there in third. You can see just how tight it's getting. You've got Mika Abrams, a man who wasn't really involved in the first heat battle, but he's definitely there in the second heat. And now as they go through Kangaroo and through Thunderdome, you can see Snyman just leading the pack out there. They're all tucking in, trying to use the slipstream effect to close in and possibly get through on the big man in front. He's fighting for second place because once again De Paiva is opening up a margin. He's trying to get away from this field and just lead from the front like he did in the first heat. Took him a while to get to the front, but once he got there, he was unmatched. It looks like it's more of the same here in heat number 2. So Snyman in second place, looking to fight it out there. Here comes Reza Levy. Reza Levy closing on the back end. And you can see he's in a bit of a fight there. As you can see, Ride Puran also involved in that little fight. Good to see him moving up. Didn't quite get to see much of him in the first heat, but here in the second heat, definitely back into the mix and in the front end fight. And as I say, front end fight, 2 of them getting together and onto the grass. That was a costly maneuver, and unfortunately it cost out a little bit of ground. It's given an opportunity for the 660 car to come back into the mix again. So Rain Asmal, who lost out after spinning out, fortunately with that little incident, is now back up and has a chance once again. He's in the second pack there. You can see this first pack of 5 come through, and there's a second pack of 5 as a change up for second place. There is the leader's margin already. Yo, I don't think Emmy's got an answer here to Josh De Paiva's pace. He's certainly come to grips with iDube racetrack and has definitely made it his home track, even though he's not from here. There's a change up for second again, chopping and changing. Reza Levy going through for fourth, just getting forced wide ever so slightly. So it's not an easy day in the saddle here. As I said, tricky conditions. One of these guys will have to contend with wet weather and now drying conditions here in the second heat. It's not quite dry just yet, but definitely drying. And that makes it even more difficult because you're not quite sure what tire to go out on. The majority of them, I think, have gone with the wet weather options, because it's wet enough to go with that. But there you can see a dry line starting to form. So it's going to affect the tire's grip by the end of this race. 698 coming through there, pushing hard. You can see just how hard he is pushing. And of course that's Divan Naidu. Naidu looking for a way through. Can he find it? No, he can't. Reza just on the back end of this field. So Levy now looking for opportunities. If there's any mistakes made by those first 4, he is going to dive in there. And he does. He gets up 2 positions there as they come over Pipeline. Nice bit of maneuvering there. But wow, such a chess game happening at the front end. Unfortunately, the king has disappeared, but the rest of the pawns and knights are left to fight it out here for second place. And it looks like this one's going to go right the way through. One of the carters moving off the sideline there. And I think it was Luveve Zambundula, who unfortunately got caught out with an incident earlier on and now having to walk it off up to the timing monitors and to the timekeepers. And they come up that back straight away. This is just so evenly matched. Every man for himself, and once again a change for second, but that'll change again probably 4 or 5 more times before the checkered flag comes out. Nothing in it between these 5 carts. Really great to see, and lots of room being given as well. There's not a lot of bumping and barging, which hopefully means there's not going to be a huge amount of nose cone penalties. But as I say that, we are talking about the youngsters of our sport, so they're not worried about nose cones. They're going to have to just hang tight and see what happens. Rain Asmal could be in a bit of trouble, because remember, he's the man, of course, who got already bumped out, so he may have a nose cone infringement coming at the end of this. But Snyman hangs on for now for second. See Reza Levy, Mika Abrams, and Bjorn Bertholdt all fighting for potentially third place, but hopefully going to be a second as well. If they continue fighting like they're doing right now, it's giving the opportunity to Troy Snyman to get away. And he's not a huge margin away, but half a second is half a second. Good move there from Reza Levy as he goes through pipeline. Oh, but right ahead of him, Casey Ensel-Smith. It looks like he's taken out Reese Kuzin and Mohammed Wali. The two of them are in the wall. You can see Ensel-Smith is not happy about that. The two of them, or three of them coming together there with only a lap to go. They would have come across the line to receive that last lap board that's just come out. So it's now opened up that pack at the front end. Troy Snyman, I think, is going to have second place gifted to him here, but he's going to have to hang on to finish up this heat. Ensel-Smith trying to get his cart back on. Mohammed Wali's out of his cart, and you can see, unfortunately, Reese is just staying inside that cart. There'll be double yellows at the top end of pipeline, so there'll be no overtaking. Not that De Paiva has to worry about any overtaking. He has had it plain sailing, and the flag comes out for another victory there for Josh De Paiva, taking the win by 21 seconds, absolutely dominating this field of karters in the Micromax category here in heat number 2. Second place is going to be Troy Snyman. Third place is going to be Reza Levy. What a drive there from Reza. Coming through, and it's Mika Abrams who comes through for fourth place. So incredible drive, once again, I've got to say, from this young man. Josh De Paiva could possibly be the man to beat this season in Micromax. He takes the win ahead of Troy Snyman. It's Reza Levy, Mika Abrams, Bjorn Bertholdt, and Rida Purin there in 6th place. Rain Asmal eventually in 7th place. He got given a nose cone infringement. Devan Naidu beating out Karl Bjerkes and Uze Khan. Third and final heat of Micromax now as they line up. 12 laps of action coming your way. Is it going to be the Josh De Paiva show again? He's on pole, so there's a very good possibility of that happening. They're all trying to get into those tram lines. The flag drops. De Paiva gets the whole shot. There's no answer from anybody. Bjorn Bertholdt tries to go with him there. You can see just trying to push hard right from the word go as they go down into Kangaroo now for the very first time. Through Thunderdome. Watch out for De Paiva. Whoa! Slipping and sliding and right off the track at the word go. Not the way you want to start a race, that is for sure. And 6, 7, 8 there. Uze Khan, unfortunately taken to the sideline. Hopefully he gets going again, but he's going to be a long way behind this pack of cars. Coming down on the braking markers, De Paiva leads things out. Troy Snyman trying to close things down there. He's in 6th place, not where he's normally used to be. He's already finished up on the podium. There comes Kuzin. Kuzin diving on the inside, getting through, and just finds a way past Devan Naidu. So Naidu and Kuzin now looking to close things down on 2nd place. It's going to be an easy day in the saddle, that is for sure, here in this final heat. Remember, there's a couple extra laps available to these drivers. They'll realize that. So you don't have to be trying too hard too soon, but you cannot afford for that leader to get away, particularly if it's Josh De Paiva here today, because he has been untouchable. And it looks like he's starting to open up that margin again. I don't think it's going to be as big as the 21 seconds. Still stuck in the wall there. Not able to get going. Eventually one of the marshals gets across to help him out. But now you've got a massive mountain to climb. And whether or not that's going to happen, we'll wait and see. And they come through the final sweep. Up over pipeline. A couple of changes happening there. 6, 5, 6. Leveve Sambudla coming through there nicely. And look at the way things are changing there at the front end too. You can see Josh De Paiva just opening up a small margin, not as big as what we had earlier on, and just maintaining that gap. Doesn't want to be troubled by anybody else. Looks like it's starting to rain ever so slightly as well here in the third and final heat. Hopefully these guys have all gone out on liquid tires. That'll probably be the option. But as they come through now into Thunderdome, they're going to start to feel the effects of the rain over the next couple of laps as it starts to get slipperier and slipperier out there. Bertholdt hanging on for second. It's Kuzin now for third place. Naidu in 4. Naidu closing in on Kuzin though. Very close between the two of them. They come onto the braking markers down into the sweep. Just ahead of Sambudla, Troy Snyman, Karl Bjerkes and Casey Ensel-Smith. Good to see all the drivers that were involved in that incident able to get back on track. Looks like the only one who wasn't able to get back on track was Mohammed Wali. who just couldn't get that kart fixed in time. Coming out of SMD sweep into the penultimate turn, so known as hockey stick. They come through there and up the hill again to complete the lap. Bertholdt maintaining second place. Kuzen at this stage still in with a shot there and sitting in third place, but he's got the attentions being picked up big time there by Diva Naidu. A couple of back markers coming into play here as well now. That's the back marker back on track. Good to see that. Uze Khan back on track again after being given a little bit of assistance by the marshals. So hopefully he can get going and still finish up in a point scoring position. Third place, there it is. Kuzen under attack from Naidu. Naidu looking for a chance. Can he find one? No, he can't. Not just yet. Heading up the hill. Has he got slightly better drive? Yes, he might have. But it's very even there between those two chassis, the front end, and fighting for what is now third place on the circuit. Reese taking the slightly wider line, not quite the wet line just yet, but it is getting wetter. And across the line goes Bertholdt, Kuzen, Naidu. So close. Reza Levy in there as well. Good drive there from the young man. He's had an incredible day in the saddle. That's the lead between first and second. As Uze Khan now gets overtaken by the second place man there. So the back marker just doing his job, holding his line, not deviating from that line as the quicker karts come through. This is where it could change things up here for third, fourth and fifth place. That back marker might just play into the hands here of potentially Diva Naidu or even Reza Levy. Reza all the way to Cape Town, of course. He'll be looking to get to his home track later on in the season. Still got to go to VKC though before they do that. And now as they head to the top of the hill, here's a possibility of a change. Now just getting on the back marker, finding a way past, and now going to close down on that second place kart who's already got through. Looks like, oh yeah, Naidu just getting caught out there through Thunderdome. 6:29 further down the field, Carl Bjerkes. He's fighting out there with Casey Ensel-Smith and Ethan Steer, the top 10 honours. Oh, blue flags waving, that's nice to see. Didn't see any of that in the earlier classes we've spoken about, but definitely starting to come out now for the youngsters. Ethan Steer just off the back end there, trying to close that gap. Wants to make it a four-way battle there. And that, of course, will be just for the latter part of the top 10 and into the top 12. Oh, that's a big spinner. And rolling almost right across the track. In fact, he went right across the track onto the second part, or the first part of pipeline. That could have ended up in tears in a big way. 660. That is Rain Asmal. Certainly had the rain guards looking after him there today. But it's not over yet. We've still got plenty of action in that backpack. We've got lots of action at the front. But just going back to the front end, remember it is Josh De Paiva who leads out. And he's got a comfortable margin there over Bjorn Bertholdt. This is the second pack we've been watching over the last couple of laps. 668 there, having some fun and games. And I can tell you that Casey Ensel-Smith is certainly looking to make up amends after being taken out. And he was part of that incident that ended up the last part. I can see the wet weather conditions catching a couple of guys out now. It's certainly becoming trickier out there. The track is getting much slipperier. And it's now just survival. Oh, Reza is on a move. He's got Naidu in his sights and he wants to get past. He realizes there's a very good possibility of a good overall for the day there for his team and for him. And if he can get ahead of that 698 of Diva Naidu, a very good chance of him finishing up top 3 overall as well. Let's wait and see what's going to turn out. Reese Kuzen, he's just ahead, but I think there's a possibility. Look at how they're fighting here. This is fantastic. Naidu and Levy going at it. Unfortunately, it is slowing them down slightly, so it's giving Kuzen a chance just to maintain. There's your leader. And has he got a big advantage? Yes, he has. Not as big as what he had earlier on. 21-second lead in the second heat. He's now up to about 5.5 seconds over the rest of this pack.
6 seconds.
Just pick up on Bertholdt in the background. What an awesome run here from this man. 3 out of 3 for Josh De Paiva. A very difficult man to beat here today in KwaZulu-Natal. In some very trying conditions for the drivers. And in Micromax, he is the king for the day. 3 wins out of 3 starts. And that is a super start to your championship. And I'm sure he's going to be ecstatic about that. Bjorn Bertholdt will come through for second place. He was only 6.3 seconds down the road. The Bertholdt team will be very happy with his performance here in the third and final heat. So across the line, final results. De Paiva taking it from Bertholdt, Devan Naidu, Reza Levy, and Reese Kuzin, your top 5. Sambudla came through for 6th place, beating out Snyman, Bierkes, Casey Insel-Smith, and Ethan Steer in the top 10.
Josh, what was it today that we guys couldn't catch you?
I don't know. I just put in lots of efforts throughout the week and I came out on top.
But the conditions was tricky all day
Yeah.
long. It was then wet,
Yeah.
then dry, then half wet.
Yeah.
So what do you think was the trick to you pulling a huge gap on the rest of the field?
I think my trick was in the second race, everybody except for another guy went on rain tires and I went on slicks. So I found the dry spots and I just carried on.
And this last race, they just couldn't stay with you.
Yeah.
Today would be called a tough day because of the changing conditions. Talk to me about your day, all day, and then about the heat.
I've had a very good and unlucky day today because I was third in the last heat and then I tried to block and 3 guys came past me. So then I came 6th and then the last heat I just try to keep a good mindset and try to...
How difficult were the conditions?
They were quite tough because you were changing tires from wet to dry, wet to dry, wet to dry, and you didn't know what to do at a time because it was just raining, then it stopped, then it rained, then it stopped.
Why do you think you guys couldn't catch Joshy today? He just pulled a big gap and left all of you fighting for second and third.
Well, Josh is a very good driver and experienced driver, and he's always keeping a cool head and